Enterprise Management 360.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Tech Chat. Now, in today's episode, I'm looking forward to speak with Noel Lavery, who is the UK Sales Director at Infobip. So Noel, welcome to the episode of Tech Chat.
Morning, Max.
Morning, and
thanks.
Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. And before we get into today's topic, would you mind just giving our listeners a bit of background on yourself?
Yeah, sure. I've been working in the world that we're going to talk about probably for 15 years. I've worked in contact center and speech automation, and now latterly in the omni-channel and digital space.
Excellent stuff. And Noel is joining us today to talk about the hybrid customer experience and conversational commerce. So to start off the show here, I wanted to ask, what do we really mean when we say delivering a hybrid customer experience?
I think the world historically has really communicated from enterprise to customer and back again through letters and voice and emails. And it's not been terribly joined up. It's led to an awful lot of frustration from people to be queued up, speaking to somebody who doesn't know why they're calling, and having to re-explain and re-identify themselves, leading to a pretty poor experience when all they're looking to do is to, in many cases, hand over some money for services or a product. So the hybrid journey really is all about understanding your customer much better, being able to identify and verify them, and being able to manage them in a much more conversational and natural way. Making use of the tools that we all have now. You know, we're all using phones for almost everything. And we have the tools on those phones to help communicate with companies. So companies need to step up, understand what those requirements are, which channels they should be communicating on, and providing information at the right time, and as quickly as possible, please.
Yeah, I think that's very imperative. And as things start to speed up, there becomes that need of wanting stuff faster and faster. And you hit the nail on the head there, where you were talking about how it's difficult to have that experience and the frustration that comes with it. So
yeah,
how do companies really get to that point of maintaining that customer loyalty and reducing that frustration?
What we're finding in the industry is that people are they're finding now it's much more important to have a positive customer experience, to get into a transaction, get it completed, and move on and do things that are important to them. Whereas in the past, people were hunting around based on price and phoning up and queuing. Now people have a different perception about what the experience could be. You know, one of our customers, Uber, we're all familiar with. I know I can open the app, I can have a taxi outside my door in a couple of minutes. It'll pay my bill and let me get on with my life. And that sets the bar very high. And increasingly, our digital natives are coming through. That's all they have an expectation of, is that kind of experience. So lots of these large organizations have really got to have a think about how they can match that, because moving forwards, that is going to become the differentiator between doing well and doing less well in this century.
Yeah, I think that's very key. It's adapt or get out of the way, unfortunately, with a lot of this stuff that we're talking about. So I also mentioned in the introduction as well, can you also give us an overview of what this conversational commerce is?
If you have a journey from an organization, let's say an insurance company, it should be two-way where appropriate. And that could start with a company who say, hi, Max, it's time to renew your home contents. And you've been a great customer. Click here and we'll give you another 10% off if you renew now. And then you might accept that, or you might want more information by which you can then continue through that automation to get more information, or you could say, I'd like to chat to an agent. So on that same channel, which could be SMS, WhatsApp, or email, whatever it might be, RCS one day, it will be about then moving through to an agent and having a chat with them about what that offer entails, or can I then take that to my buildings insurance, or can I extend that to car? And you're suddenly having a dialogue that is truly conversational, and you might reach a point where you say, I'd like that, I'd like to do it, please. And that agent can then pass you back into a bot, which can complete the transaction. So you're moving across different mechanisms for communication, but it's very natural, it's conversational, your provider knows who you are, and it's very neat and very quick.
Yeah, comes down to what we've been saying throughout. It's that speed and efficiency that gets people to where they want to be. So
Yeah.
to kind of wrap up here, and my final question is, obviously we've spoken about these conversational elements that come in. We've brought in chatbots as well, but from your standpoint now, what platforms or technology should companies be utilizing to best communicate with their customers?
There are many solutions that can be used for this this kind of evolution, and I talked about the approach that can be adopted. There are a number of applications around. I think I would ask and suggest that organizations' due diligence about the types of solutions they're going to be adopting. They probably should be tightly integrated so that you can give that positivity of change of platform or moving to the type of solution that you're providing in a very neat way. One thing that's kind of well behind the scenes here, but important, is the ability to analyze and report on those journeys and transactions to ensure that you're providing that level of customer experience. But at the same time, what's really important here is reducing the cost to serve, because if organizations can't achieve that, then where do you stop spending?
Yeah.
So I would encourage organizations to look at the ROI from this. It should be pretty rapid. The solutions should be reportable right the way across, and they should be solving the problem. And I think those are the elements that it comes down to.
Yeah, I think that's very important, and some sage advice that organizations should be looking at when they're kind of taking this forward. So Noel, all I can say is thank you for coming on today's episode, walking us through all of this and giving your advice.
You're welcome. Nice to speak to you.
Nice to speak to you. And thank you everyone who tuned into this episode. We do hope you took a lot away from it. If you are looking for more information, then please head on over to infobip.com. There's some great resources on there that can help inform what we've been discussing. We'll be back next week with another episode in our Tech Chat series. You can join the conversation at EM360 on Twitter and LinkedIn. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. And of course, for more great daily content, please head on over to em360tech.com.